one particular conversation in the lounge room when she was still at home, and she just said, you know, why can't I just end things on my terms? And I said to her, because that's the law. And she said, well, it shouldn't be that way. And I kind of made an off-the-cuff comment, you know, well, if ever I'm in a position to do something about it, I will, which is why I'm affiliated with Dying with Dignity Queensland.
The urgency in Queensland is that each week it is likely that somebody has experienced a horrible death at their own hands out of pure desperation because they don't have a choice about alleviating their suffering.
There's a forum that we have invited all 93 state MPs, plus as many of our members as we could fit into the room. It's to encourage our politicians to initiate an inquiry into end-of-life choices.
It sort of sends a culture that choosing death is a viable option to a difficult life situation, and we don't want that.
Currently in Queensland, it is legal, if you are dying and suffering beyond medical help, to take your own life. And there are many ways this is done, with ropes, with knives, with guns, with worse. The choice is legally yours. Currently in Queensland, if you are dying and suffering beyond meaningful medical help, it is legal to refuse all treatment and to starve and dehydrate yourself to death as your disease takes its course, a process which can take days or weeks, sometimes several weeks.
I remember sitting with her in the hospital and she looked at me and she said, we treat our animals better than this. She's right. What can you say to that? And then when she finally got to go and have the surgery and we talked to the staff and, you know, we talked about certain outcomes, and she only had a 40% chance of surviving the surgery. So she was quite hopeful that she wouldn't. And I kind of understood and I respected that. And she just said to me, we talked to the anaesthetist about, you know, dosages and things like that. And then just before she went, you know, she said, how nice would it be just to go to sleep and not have to wake up again? You know, she was very upset when she did wake up and she was still here. And I remember as they took her off to surgery, I said to her, if you do find a way out or find that light, take it, don't come back for me. Because I couldn't ask her to come back and be in that amount of pain, but she did. I was kind of glad that she did, but also it's a bittersweet, you know. I knew she was in for a tough road from there, and in hindsight I had no idea what we were going to be in for.
I have simply always believed, for as long as I could remember, that anyone who was close to death and suffering should be able to say, I've had enough, I want to go now, and have their wishes fulfilled. And it was just that belief that drove me to, while I was in Parliament, to do something about it.
I spoke to the Nurses Palliative Care Association, and one of their major complaints was that they're often not called in to the last minute. They're not called in to the patients in their last 2 or 3 days. And they say, why weren't we called in a month or 2 or 3 before, and we could have introduced a regime to have maybe assisted that patient better in those final end of stages. So yes, I don't think we use palliative care well enough, and I don't think there's probably enough resources put into palliative care to make sure that it's extended and available to all.
Even the best palliative care does not alleviate the suffering of everyone.
To those who are against it, I ask that you please become educated about what this is and not just look at the face value of it, but understand the basis of the law that we wish to make, and realise it's not just about killing people, making people die. It's about helping terminally ill people that have no quality of life, that are suffering, to end things on their own terms, compassionately. And if you still feel that you're against this, then please respect everybody's choice.